And now, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you guys are all doing well, and welcome back to this rare sighting of me playing the High Elves here on the channel. So it is going to be Alarielle facing off against King Lewin, High Elves against Bretonnia. Now, this is a matchup that I used to feel was pretty damn hard for the High Elves, and I still think it is. Nonetheless, I was talking with the Dark Lord Felcon about a couple ideas here, and this is kind of the product that I came up with. So basically, we have two Lion Chariots of Crace. Now, these guys are kind of interesting in the sense that, yes, they're very good at killing infantry, but they're also not terrible against cav units in a blob. So, for example, if you have a bunch of spears with the Lion Chariots of Crace standing amongst the spears, they can actually do some decent damage back against the enemy cavalry. Those lions certainly got some bite. So they got 56 weapon strength with a majority AP, yeah, 38. So very, very strong there. Got a couple spearmen as well, 2 Phoenix Guards, so very much a bit of a box build. So you're charging in with the Lion Chariots of Crace, they countercharge with their cav, you pull back into your box, then you go back out through the other side of your box, start pressuring the archers, causing problems, etc., etc. So it's going to be double spearman, triple spearman, double Phoenix Guard, double Lion Chariot of Crace. We got a Star Dragon with Larry up in the sky. With Tempest, it's a pretty strong combo, and we do also have the Heralds of the Wind. So the Heralds of the Wind, very fast, 105 speed. These guys are just a disruption tool, give you at least 1 unit to harass archers with, and they live long and prosper, man. And that is pretty much it for my build here. And for my opponent, I would say some standard in some respects. He's got battle pilgrims, peasant mobs. He's got a shit ton of archers here in the back. A couple of questing knights, which of course dominate silver helms and trade very effectively with dragon princes. One of the main reasons why you can't really go with those units in that matchup. I mean, sometimes you'll see like the Fireborn, but sometimes even if you bring Fireborn, they have like, you know, Grail Knights and Fey Enchantress, and it can get pretty ugly. So I honestly don't really like using High Elf Cav in this matchup. So yeah, he's got questing notes back here, excuse me. Beast Slayer's a Bastone, and it looks like that is going to be it, with the exception of a couple cav units I think he has lurking somewhere. I could have sworn there was more. Yeah, double questing knight. Wasn't there some like Knights Errant or something? I don't know. I played this game last night. I should be fresh on it, but nonetheless, we will see how it goes. There's also going to be a Damsel of Life. No surprises there. Always pretty good. The Herald's going to be shooting into these battle pilgrims, getting a couple pot shots in there, and we don't take out any models, but every bit of damage we can do does indeed count. So it kind of tease a little bit here. Tickle the pickle, charging in with the Lion Chariots of Crace, trying to distract the questing knights, get them to pull in, and basically just buying time for my main formation to kind of move up here. And here you can see there are some mounted yeomen on the flank. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? My heralds are vastly better than the yeomen. Let's just go ahead and charge and chase them off the edge of the battlefield. And now the Narnia line's getting in there and doing some fat damage, swinging their big old axes to get in there, taking out 5 models, and also doing considerable HP damage, about 35% give or take. So here we do have the Star Dragon plus Alarielle flying overhead, looking to perhaps get in some engagements. And here, King Lewin does pop stand your ground, anticipating attack from a Star Dragon plus Alarielle, so certainly a good play there. So far, so good. We baited out a stand your ground, we got some good damage on the battle pilgrims, and now the dreaded spear box is going to be moving forward. No, we are not a corner camping box, we are an aggressive box. We're going to be trying to get in there and cause some disruption. So here are the Heralds of the Wind chasing down the yeomen, of course taking some damage in the process, but we will eventually catch them. We are much faster, 105 to 92. So the idea is to just get them into the corner and perhaps rout them off, so I have a complete advantage in regards to the skirmish cav game. So here comes the Lion Chariots of Crace. The Narnia lions are hungry for unwashed peasants, and they get in there and do some fat damage. Normally you wouldn't think chariots are good against Bretonnia, and on paper they're not. Bretonnia has a lot of good mass and, you know, kind of ways to cause some disruption. A huge mistake here too, by the way. I was really, really slow on my Tempest. I actually miss it, and then from there King Lewin is able to land on the ground. Now if I had caught him up in the air, that would have been a disaster, because now that he's on the ground, Tempest will not do any damage. So a big misplay, very slow reaction on my part, ends up costing me quite a bit, but you know, no one's perfect, man. You all gotta make mistakes. So here, Star Dragon getting in there, doing some damage against Lewin, but he does have the Lion Shield and Shield of Thorns. Pretty much going apeshit here, so I do need to pull back the Star Dragon at this point. Big mistake. My opponent certainly got the edge on me there by landing that character as the Tempest was coming in. So I have to pull back at this point and kind of reorganize my priorities. Now the halberds and spears are fighting pretty effectively. You can see the companions have engaged, but the companions are just kind of blobbing into knights here, or my spears, which is totally fine. And I do get the Star Dragon back up in the sky, and the Revenge of the Star Dragon, oh baby, that's going to do some fat damage. And you can see the companions get roasted pretty good, about 40% HP being taken off, while the Lion Chariots of Crace going after what little quality infantry there is here on the flanks. These battle pilgrims getting feasted on by the Narnia lines. Now at this point, Lewin's coming in once again, so I do drop the good old Star of Avalorn to heal up my dragon, then I turn around to fight Lewin. My opponent probably thinking that Lewin, with a little bit of peasant archer support, might be able to take out my dragon you know, before I can really get a heal off or get a good engagement here. But nonetheless, the engagement is going okay. The poison does hurt, and of course it no longer does friendly fire, but now it is time for the Revenge of the Sith, as we do drop a big old Tempest right here. And this time we're not going to be missing. That Tempest doing some fat, thick damage. And though the Star Dragon is kind of taking a bit of a beating here from Lewin, the Tempest is going to be doing some lethal damage, and one more hit from the Star Dragon and Larry probably will be enough to break Louis off the battlefield, or at least give me the opportunity to chase him off the battlefield. On the ground, Halbert's just kind of holding. I reorient them to face the incoming charge here from the Questing Knights. A little bit of a defensive formation going, and here we're just going to be using Larry to chase off King Lewin because she is fast enough to keep up with him, whereas the Star Dragon might allow him to rally. And then we're going to be pulling the Star Dragon back in, trying to get some breath attacks on the peasant archers, which are really causing quite a bit of disruption. On the ground, Spearmen's still doing great. I mean, they're mostly fighting peasants and men-at-arms and things like that, so they're more than up to the task of fighting those guys. I really do think if you're facing High Elves as Bretonnia, you should mix in a couple of the Foot Squires. Foot Squires are pretty effective at killing Spearmen and also very, very good against Phoenix Guard and the Elite Infantry. And Phoenix Guard boxes are something you do see from time to time here in this good old showdown. Now, here are some of my Narnia Lion Chariots still causing great damage across the battlefield, but my opponent does get a good charge, a lance formation charge, mind you, against the Narnia Lions, but this is kind of how you do it in this matchup. You just pull back through your spears, you find another engagement, you live long, and you prosper, in the words of the great Spock there. So the Star Dragon is at 20 leadership, getting a little bit low, so I'm just trying to get away from the peasant archers. I kept trying to angle for breath attacks, but every time I did, it's getting a little bit dicey, but here comes the breath attack right there on the Questing Knights, doing some good damage, also cooking the goose here of the Beast Slayers of Bastogne, so that was certainly not bad. And now Larry is back, so Larry has to tend to her wounded dragon, because I certainly need the dragon. It's still a pretty close game. Just a testament to what, in my opinion, is a hard matchup for the High Elves here. I'm trying to think about other ways you could do it, but anyways, I guess that's a theory for another time. Perhaps a High Elf defensive box with Spearmen, Silver and Guard, Phoenix Guard, backed up by Sisters of Avalorn. They could annihilate the Peasant Bowmen and could potentially kill the Bretonnia Knights pretty effectively. I think that's actually one way you could probably play it. That would be pretty strong. But, I think this is working okay. So the Lion Chariots of Crace still going around doing some great damage against the infantry. So far, the Lion Chariots have not earned any chevrons yet, although they're both up to a metric shit ton of kills. 91 here, 140. Pretty much every formation that they collapse into is getting spanked on pretty good. The Questing Knights have pulled back, and they are the companions. We were able to get some healing up on the Star Dragon, but the Peasant Bowman fire has been pretty persistent. I do drop Star of Avalorn, but do make the mistake of pulling the Star Dragon out of the box. So I think I was giving him pathing orders to do a breath attack or something. Now the Heralds of the Wind returning from the edge of the map, having chased off the Mounted Yeoman. Now going to be ready to dive into those Peasant Bowmen here in just a second. But now the heal does finally go off. We get the dragon back in. We also heal up the Narnia Lion Chariot. And we have a relatively good defensive position. I mean, Bretonnia has a couple of companions and cab units lurking around the battlefield. My opponent doing some decent cycle charging here. But the Spearmen and Phoenix Guard are both in okay shape, which is really a big issue for him. And the Beast Slayers, trading well with their AP values, will not be trading well with the cycle charging chariots, as those Narnia chariots do come in, racking up kills as they go through. Currently up to 800 value. Now, they're expensive chariots. I think they cost 1,100 or 1,200 or something. They're really, really pricey, but they also have missile resist, which doesn't hurt against peasants and things like that, the peasant archers. And the Heralds of the Wind able to come back here and temporarily shut down the Pox Bowman. My opponent does pull back the Questing Knights and should be able to kind of liberate his position. Over here, we do have an engagement. Larry gets a little bit crazy. I tried to dive his caster, but forgot these were the companions, so big damage coming in. But the Star Dragon able to lunge forward, Earthblood going down, and the companions, though they are a great anti-large unit, probably will not be able to stand up to a Star Dragon being healed, plus Larry here doing her thing. And yeah, you can see the Lion Chariots of Grace going to be coming over, and like I said, pretty decent against cab units as far as chariots go. It's kind of how Coldwind Chariots used to be. Dark Elves used to use them against cab matchups and have pretty good success, but they got nerfed so many times over that I don't really think they're very good anymore. But Lion Chariots pulling back at this point, going to be coming in to try and liberate this blob as more and more Peasant Bowman fire just hammers in. See these poor peasants just getting massacred, and we certainly have a very nasty box. I think we're pretty much out of Earthbloods though, so what you see is what you got. He's got 2 peasant archers and a couple men-at-arms and peasants here in the back, a Damsel of Life, but I really just don't think he has the quality left on the battlefield to deal with the amount of Phoenix Guard I have. Even if the Star Dragon were to die, I think there's far too many. And the Lion Chariots are certainly feasting tonight as they chase down the companions of Cornell's here. This guy's going to be getting routed by the big old Star Dragon, who has, man, this guy's taken a beating this game, but he's been able to heal up pretty much to his healing cap, and that really is the power of Larry. You can use Eltharion in this matchup as well. His Tempest is very strong, and Eltharion plus a dragon could probably kill Lewin-type characters much more efficiently, but still the Star of Avalorn with Phoenix Guard and the synergies with the chariots, it's just so much better. Also, being able to imbue magic damage isn't, useless in this matchup. There are many units on the Bretonnian roster, especially their elite cavalry, which do have really good physical resist, so getting that Boon of Isha from Larry can be a pretty decent game changer. So Lion Chariots here, able to buckle down those Spearmen at arms, and now Larry going to be going in for the Alpha Strike here as the Star Dragon does juke about up in the sky. Here comes the Chariots, man. Those guys have been doing great work this game. Really, really tough to lock down for sure. They have incredible mass. Don't really suffer as much as some other units do from the mass nerfs and things, or mass buffs, I should say, to infantry. They can still push through pretty well. So at this point, Bretonnia more or less in a bit of a rout, as the Phoenix Guard and other forces will be advancing. Lion Chariots do pull back and engage with some Phoenix Guard. And those Narnia Lions, like I said, you're getting some damage against the Questing Knights and the big Star Dragon, the big boy coming in, and is able to break down those Questing Knights. Well played. It was a fun match for sure. And, you know, I've actually been having a good time playing the High Elves. I kind of feel like I really like playing Empire, and in many ways they're somewhat similar, like a well-rounded roster, kind of jack of all trades. Granted, they do have very good monsters and dragons, but dragons kind of really got shit on by the most recent changes to the mass. Like, dragons are much harder to use than they were to. Like, if you make one mistake and get a dragon surrounded by, like, cavalry, like, you know, anything like this, companions, you're going to just pay the troll toll so hard. But Larry did great, Dragon did good, Phoenix Guard obviously didn't have much to fight, but they held and were perfectly healthy at the end game. But the Chariots were awesome, man. 1,200 and 1,400, 17,000, 15,000 damage. A doubling in the damage again, you know, the Star Dragons delivered. And yeah, it was a fun match for sure. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at another build. That build was fun. I don't know how it would work against a really fine-tuned competitive Bretonnian build, like a Fey double Paladin kind of thing. I mean, I guess you have the Dragon and Larry to kill the Paladins. Like, and if they go up in the sky, you have Tempest. So I think you're safe there. Yeah, let's kind of theorycraft a little bit. So we're going to go in here and look. So if we were playing a sister box, what would we want to bring Silver and Guard? You know what? Probably like White Lines of Crace wouldn't be bad. I mean, they'll trade more effectively with Foot Squires. Yeah, they're so expensive though. Maybe 3 of those is fine. With a couple of basic spearmen, just like for the rest of your front line. From here, I think you need to go like double sister, or is just double, or do you even go, oh baby, a triple? I guess you go techless on horse, and then you get nets, you get regrowth. What other spells do we really need here? I guess Enfeebling Foe can be kind of useful too. And then the Sword of Techless. I'm just kind of theory crafting with you, so bear with me, guys. Larry is good here, but if you're not getting a ton of monsters, and like if you just want to get one monster that needs healing, like, you know, a big, thick dragon or something, like a regrowth is going to be enough to kind of take care of that guy's needs. You could even get some Phoenix Guard in the back. Like, then you have a pretty elite defensive formation. Fey double Paladin still is going to be a pain in the ass here, like to dig them out, and like the Draining Aura is going to be really, really good against. So you need something to dig out those type of characters. Because, like, the double sister should be able to massacre up to, like, 4 or 5 peasant bowmen. Like, because you'll get, like, 2 volleys off before they even get in range. As far as the cavalry goes, you kind of just have to take it with the Phoenix Guard. And brace for those charges. You could even bring, like, bolt throwers, too, against Bretonnia. That might not be bad. I don't know, but if we're going double sister, then I think that should be enough. Techless, he brings all the boys to the yard with the net of Amachok here. Regrowth. Sword of Techlist. We need Kindle Flame. Kindle Flame you only really want if you have like a big dragon. Honestly, just getting a cheap Sun Dragon just for the breath attacks. Now, if Bretonnia goes Air Force, you might run into some problems. Granted, the Sun Dragon breath attacks could be quite useful in tandem with nets. Yeah, man, High Elves are such an expensive faction. Maybe just 1 Phoenix Guard here. Yeah, so the front line is 3 of them. You have 1 Phoenix Guard in the back. I don't really like using Dragon Princes here in this matchup. You could throw in like a single Lion Chariot of Crace, but I feel like we really, really want to capitalize on the sisters there. So maybe just get some like cheap cavalry to try and, you know, plug various weak points in your army. Granted, you could just go with more spears and just like a bunch of cheap spears even. Like double Silver and Guard here could work. I think I have enough to afford it. Yeah, Silver and Guard. Okay, that could do something. You have enough to kill Foot Squires. You have the Dragon Breath attack with Techless Net to dig them out. The sisters can target either the Peasant Bowman or the... eventually you want to target the Knights, but you have to kill the Peasant Bowman eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I'll give this a try. Double Silver in though. Really? Do you need that? It seems a little bit excessive. You need more to like kill the Knights. You could even go with the second monster, but like already it's going to be hard to protect those sisters against like really, really heavy cap pressure. Could go with like Fireborn, something like that. I really did like the Lion Chariot of Crace. Like the Chariot was really, really nice. Could even get a couple of the Reaver Archers just to pressure. Although, no, I don't like that too much. So we got another sister. We can go triple sister. And then we can go maybe a noble or something to like dig things out. Get him on horseback. We cut these abilities here. I do want the dragon. The combo is actually quite strong because what you do is you cast Net, which triggers Kindle Flame because it doesn't have to be a Lore Fire spell, and then the breath attack from the dragon plus his basic attacks do a lot of damage, and he of course does fire damage. Noble's kind of a cute idea. Although the triple sister, man, that is a big investment. If your backline gets collapsed, you are going to have a really, really bad time. Yeah, I think 2 is probably enough. Could even get a couple Author and Seaguard too. Like basic. Yeah, you know, I actually like that. Double Author and Seaguard on the flanks, kind of like as a anti-cav unit with their spears, plus also like just a poking unit. Like if they get charged by cav, I guess it's not the end of the world. I don't know. I'll give it something like this a try. You guys will see it on the channel soon. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed. Cheers, guys.